Wait. Hello. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. Saturday morning Bear Tunes. Hello, hello. How you guys doing? How are you guys after the decade study? That was pretty fun last night, wasn't it? Sorry, I literally just ate. If you guys might have noticed in the my first message before I went live is that we're gonna be a little late. I was 5 minutes late, and it's because I was microwaving breakfast, and I got into a conversation with the family, and I lost track of time, and and I only had like a couple minutes to actually eat my breakfast, so I was like shoveling it. I was shoveling it into my mouth, and then, you know what? I should probably close the window because it looks like there's some commotion happening outside. Give me a second. Okay. Sorry, I was just closing the window. It wasn't really a commotion. It was more of like, I think there are people like cutting like trees and stuff, or cutting like tree branches and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I was shoveling all the spaghetti into my mouth. Finished actually within, when did I post that? 57, 8, 9, 1, 2. I actually finished within 5 minutes. And I didn't actually rush myself that much. So, you know. I really could have started stream on time and just let the ad break run, but instead I was like, ah, just in case, just in case. But yeah, let's see who we got here. We got Saribot, Arrock, we got Zako, and Folk, and you guys got your stickers. Yeah, make sure that you guys get your stickers. Hello, hello. Today's gonna be pretty chill, kind of low energy if I'm being honest, because I'm still kind of tired from the excitement of last night, but also because we're gonna be pixelating some friends today, pixelating some buddies, some cubs, and yeah, I think we might just do 2 today. We might also do some yaps, and we should also do our dailies too. But one quick thing is that when we get into the classroom, I might want to change out my model, because I do have my live 2D model up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But I don't know, I was like, I was organizing some of my OBS scenes earlier, and I was like, I do have a lot of models and I never really use them. Well, not a lot, not like Iron Mouse a lot, but I have like Live 2D, I got 2 different like PNG like programs, and then I have the 3D model. And I was thinking like, oh, when's the last time I used the 3D model? So how about we go into the changing room real quick, and then we'll start properly. And I also still have the 80s music pumping, you know, bumping, if you will. So, BRB! Alright, let me see. Let me go ahead and run the program. When's the last time you guys saw 3 Dinka, right? Let me just load it up. I just remember how to work this thing. There we go. Let me see if the model is like properly loaded up though. And then we'll take out Live 2D. Take out my tracking, because I just need to use my webcam for it. And then she appears! It's me, 3 Dinka. I'm back in 3D form. Heck yeah. Alright, let me make myself a little bit bigger. Just like the teensiest bit. There we go. Oh, what a joy. What a joy it is to see 3 Dinka again. Let me reset position. Okay, that looks good. That looks Gucci. So let's go ahead and start properly. But hello everyone, hello, it's me Babinka Bear, your local Sun Bear art history teacher and educational streamer, and today we are doing pixel art. We are pixelating the friends. As you can see, I've already gotten started with another bear friend. So let's take a little bit of a closer look before I get started properly. Also, let me make sure that I have my window open just so that I can see y'all. But yeah, For those that don't know, we've been pixelating our friends ever since I started streaming not recently, but like now that I think about it, a lot of these are from like the very beginning of like my streaming career. We do need to eventually update Folk's model over here. But now we are doing 2 people. I keep like mixing up the controls on this. We're going to be pixelating River AM, who is a fellow bear. She's adorable. And then we are also going to pixelate another more recent friend. So this is Nap. He's not a professor, but you can call him Nap. And his model is, humorously enough, based on Blinking Samuel, aka Samuel Johnson. But it's that kind of like infamous like meme thing of like someone reading something and then like reacting to it with that face. And because it's based off an actual person in history, it's based off a guy named Samuel Johnson. I was actually able to find a piece of artwork that showed his full body, which is actually really good because like with these you can't quite tell like what is going on with the outfit. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. So we're gonna try and keep it pretty chill today. And then maybe even brainstorm some things for next week, because I was making my schedule for next week as well. Hold on, I need to fix my model again. There we go. The expressiveness of the model is so funny. So Dianork, hello, how you doing? We're just gonna be pixelating our friends for today. And honestly, because I had just streamed last night, I don't know if I have too much to yap about other than, like I said, like I might want to plan what my streams are gonna be for next week. I think I do want to play a game called Scriptorium. Hold on, let me see if I can like color match this really quickly. Where is the color? Oh, here it is. Let's do HSV. Make it a little bit more tan, just a little bit. I think that might be good. Let's make it contiguous. Let's also draw the dress. Let's borrow this like darker green. Da, da, da. Oopsie. And I do have the symmetry tool on. There we go. I just wanted to make sure that the model wasn't just naked. I think that was the main thing. Is like, oh, let's put some clothing on there. And then let's do some white as well. I think it's just pure white. I try to avoid just pure white. I guess we are just using pure white then. So there's 2 different models that I can pick from here. I can either choose from this cute model over here, which is more of like a traditional like maid outfit, and then this one reminds me more of like something you'd see at like Ren Fair, right? You do have a little bit more exposed skin in that regard, but I think either way, it'll be very cute. I think this one has a lot more like variation with color, so maybe we'll play around with this model first. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe do something like that. Maybe we'll put some shading in the center as well. But the white also goes up to here. Oh, actually it's a long sleeve. And then what are the bottoms looking like? I haven't been able to watch a stream in a while. It's okay, Dianork. I know that the time zone isn't always opportune, right? No worries at all. But how you been? How you been? Hopefully you've been good. Both in terms of like good in terms of like no bad things happening to you, but also good in terms of like my babing cubs. You guys are being good, right? You guys are being good members of society and whatnot. Actually, her shoes are a little bit more closer to like red. Now that I think about it, it's like a dark burgundy. There we go. But there's also so she has socks, but she also has a little bit of exposed skin as well. There we go. We'll do something like that. Oh, that's cute. So actually, let's bring this white part up. and bring this. There we go. There we go. You've been saying hi and running away? You got married? That's kind of major. Congratulations, Dia. Oh my gosh. Yo, congratulations. Evie. That's beautiful news. That's amazing. That's I don't know what else to say. Like, that's incredible. Feel free to share whatever you want to share, you know, like if you want to keep things a little more private, that's fine. But you know, like how was it? How was it? That's fantastic. I'm glad for you. Awesome possum. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I feel like I don't know where to start in terms of like updating from here. Like, I think I appreciate the fact that you're like, that you're saying hi in the first place. You know, like it's no small feat to take some time out of your day and be like, oh, Binko's streaming. Let's you know, let's say hi. I appreciate that. Let's put some purple here. Actually, let's do that. Let's put some, oh, you know what? I don't know how to do the eyebrows for now, so, or maybe we just do this. But that's so exciting. There we go, there's the eyebrows. That's so exciting, Dianoric. Fugubi, hello. Hello, hello. We're making some pixel art today of some friends. A bear friend named River. You know what? I think the eye is a little bit lighter toward the bottom. We'll keep it saturated. There you go. I showed my wife your streams, especially the tarot ones. Oh, is she interested in tarot? It's been a minute since I've done a tarot stream, or even allowed the, what's it called? The redeem to be open. I should do that. Yeah, 3D model today. I was figuring like it's been a minute, right? It's been a minute since I've used any other model. No, I think that's too red. It's been a while since I've used anything other than the live 2D, right? So it's like, ah, why not? Maybe this can be, nah, maybe not white. Maybe we'll add a little bit. Oh, you know what? There's also the little, I don't know what you call it. like the actual like apron part over here. Yeah, I was actually thinking like of what I should be doing in the oh, didn't mean to do that. What my stream schedule is gonna be, because I was planning it out yesterday. Wait, that's adorable. I like that. Actually, yeah, let me go ahead and go to the Canva file right now, just so I can look at what I had on the agenda for next week. Oh my god, we're already in May. That's kind of that's kind of insane. Oh yeah, I want to try playing Pasoi Dos with you guys. I want to try playing some card games with you guys. I found a website, but like I feel like I'm not able to test it out unless it's with other people. So that might be something on the agenda. is just testing that out. Let me borrow this color. Switch it over to purple. How does that game work? Oh, okay. I'll let me see. Basically, it's almost like poker, but like more chill. I like showing up for the streams for you and all the homies. It's fun to catch up on everyone. Yeah, it really is. You know what's funny is I actually haven't watched a Randon stream in a bit, but I decided to drop by today because he was playing Euro Truck Simulator, and you know, it's gonna be me. Yeah, like I dropped in on a Randon stream. I was watching Owen yesterday because I was realizing how much I like have kind of been on autopilot these past few days. I feel like I've just been like focusing on work, and then like once I'm off work, once I clock off of work, I clock into to streaming. Which the thing is, like, streaming is a lot more fun compared to work, even though work is also pretty fun. But I was like, you know what? I should actually like show up for the community as well, like watch some other folks' streams. I haven't really watched enough of Mega Bronson lately. I want to do that the next time he's up. The only thing is, I usually, when like friends are streaming, I'm usually like setting something up, or I'm like actively like doing work stuff. So sometimes the timing doesn't work out, but there are times where I'm just like, you know what, I'm not really doing anything right now. In fact, I was carving some more of those like Maya glyph stamps, and when I carve those stamps, it takes upwards to like 30 to 45 minutes. And I realized that I often just like listen to video essays like while I carve my stamps, but it's like I could also just be watching stream during that time as well. But speaking of, the latest thing that I've been on, the latest thing that I've been on, like listening to while carving my stamps, is there's a Simpsons iceberg video that I think it landed on my algorithm because of all the steamed hams videos I was watching for the collab with Folk last week. So now I'm getting like some more Simpsons content, which is always a joy, which is always like a welcome. I'm always super down for that. But yeah, just watching this like Simpsons iceberg is like, oh, I feel like I know more than I thought. Because the whole thing with icebergs is that like, it's all like the top part of the iceberg is stuff that like any person would know about The Simpsons, right? The fact that it's a show, the fact that it has these characters, and then the deeper down you go into the iceberg, the more niche the information is. It's like sometimes getting into like behind the scenes stuff or like fandom stuff. And I had assumed that I wouldn't know anything in the bottom part of the iceberg, but I think I'm getting to that point. Like I'm getting to the essentially the bottom of the iceberg, and it's like, oh, I actually know some of these things. You know what? Let's do non-contiguous. There we go. Let me see if I can get some examples. I would need to open up my other whatchamacallit, other window. Go to the YouTubes. And like I said, another thing that's been popping up on my algorithm has just been like Chinese beauty trends. And it's like, what is YouTube trying to tell me here? All right, let me see the iceberg. I'm actually almost done with that video. I'm 2 hours 45 minutes into it. I'm at layer 6. And it was stuff like comic stories, character emails. Okay, some of these things I did not. Oh, there's a play. There's a play based off The Simpsons, and it's not like a straightforward like it's not like a retelling of any Simpsons story. It's kind of like a post-apocalyptic. I haven't actually seen the play yet, but from what I gather from the description of it, it's like a post-apocalyptic world where their mythos and their religion is partially based off of like Simpsons episodes, which sounds very like hee hee ha ha at first, right? Makes you rethink I might be a bigger fan. Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. It's like, oh, I guess I did know about all these niche things. I guess I am like more of a fan than I give myself credit for, right? But yeah, the play is about like a post-apocalyptic society where like their mythos is based off like Simpsons scenes and stuff like that, but it also makes kind of some sense from like a anthropological, like cultural anthropology perspective as well, because it's like, oh yeah, like the stories that survive and that get like retold orally generation to generation, those are most likely going to be like what makes up a mythos, right? And if you imagine like a post-apocalyptic society where people are just telling stories to each other of like the before times, you could imagine it starting out as like, oh yeah, back before the apocalypse, I used to watch this series called The Simpsons, and it had funny episodes, like this one episode where Mr. Burns tried to blot out the sun, or this episode where people were wondering like who shot Mr. Burns, or this episode where they went to Itchy and Scratchy Land. So it starts off as just like a straightforward retelling of the episode, but then that tale gets retold over the course of generations, and eventually the stories change little by little by little, right? Until eventually it's divorced from its original context of like, oh, this was a show that we used to watch before the end times, before the apocalypse. Because then by let's say like the second or third generation, it's like, oh, what's a television? What is a show? You know, what is a TV show? So it transforms into like, oh, like this story that was part of a TV show into like, oh, this was a tale from long ago. Our ancestors tell the tale of a man named Burn who tried to swallow the sun. I don't know if that's exactly what happens in the play, but it seems like that's kind of the shtick behind it, which I just find very fascinating. Like, for one, as a Simpsons fan, that just sounds like an awesome idea, but also just through like kind of an anthropological lens of like, oh yeah, I feel like this is what would happen in the post-apocalypse. The stories of the before time would kind of like take on a new life, right? Ding, ding, ding. Let me see if... Oh, actually that fits a little bit better. And yeah, and like in that regard, it also makes you question like, oh man, I wonder what like, if and when the apocalypse actually does happen, like what, what are the tales that we're gonna be telling each other and our offspring? Should we have offspring? Not sure if I missed the internet or just the memes, right? Like, can you imagine like in the post-apocalypse, like we're like passing on information about VTubers, and it's like, oh, you know, back in the before times, we had this thing called the internet, and eventually the internet became this place where you could have what's called an avatar, like something that represents you but isn't you. And back then, people would have animated avatars, and they would control them almost like how people control puppets. And then they'd be like, "Grandpa, what's an internet?" And then it goes into like, well, how do you explain that actually? Them boys and West End girls. West End girls. Gojikins, hello, hello. As you can see, I'm using the model that you made for me. Hello, hello. Also, I realized I should probably angle this. Hold on, how do I do this? There we go. Angle it, angle the dangle. I can see, yeah. Maybe two angle. There we go, there we go. The tail would eventually just turn into the Matrix. Kinda, sorta, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have, like, thought about that. Like, if there is ever, like, a post-apocalypse situation, what would the mythos look like after we... Because what I want to imagine is that, like, we take all these ideas that we found out through scientific discovery, like, about, like, the solar system and the world isn't flat, and about how the universe was created through, like, gaseous materials coalescing together into, like, stars and, like, planets and stuff. And I imagine that, like, maybe that would be reimagined as, like, gods and goddesses, right? Or it's like, oh, the mighty nebula, you know, collapsed in on itself and became the cosmos. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Remember seeing Flork Comics just calling VTuber Tupas realize Tupas. Yeah, now Flork is in charge of a VTuber company. Isn't that fun and whimsical? The East End boys and West End girls. West End girls. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fun thought experiment. Of like, what is the post-apocalypse? When it comes, what's it gonna look like, you know? I think the first time I like thought about this was when I had watched this documentary of I don't even know like what was even like the topic of the documentary. I just remember that it ended with like, oh, if an asteroid were to ever hit the Earth, if an asteroid were to ever hit the Earth, people might survive. Like, people might actually still survive it. It's just that like the population would be like severely, you know, like reduced. But civilization might still, well, maybe not civilization, but like cultures and humanity would still survive. But then the question is like, what survives after that, you know? Depends on the method by which we achieve it. Yeah, right? Like it was, if it was an asteroid, it's a big ol' maybe. It's a big ol' maybe. But if it's nuclear war, I think the Earth would survive, but I don't know if humans would. And if they did, would they still be considered humans by that point? Let me see if I have the hair correct. The hair needs to come down a little bit more. So maybe something like that. That way it's still kind of like readable. There we go. Actually, I like that. I like that. Maybe we'll add some highlights as well. Oh, actually, let's work on the dress. This dress is actually supposed to be a little bit closer to yellow, just a teensy weensy bit. So let's change that color. There we go. As George Carlin said, the earth isn't going anywhere. We are, exactly. I've never actually watched a lot of his like comedy, like his shows, basically. I haven't watched a lot of his shows, but I always catch snippets. I know that they were definitely very big around like the 2000s into the early 2010s. Like people would always like repost them on things like Facebook. And I remember I would always be like, you know what? Yeah, I agree. Oopsie, didn't mean to do that. You guys seem to have a good head on his shoulders, right? At least seem to. Alright, let's add some highlights. Maybe we add them here. Maybe this could be a little bit brighter as well. Yeah, what happens if we do this? I don't know if I like that effect. Maybe just like a touch. Feather touch. You have selected power drive. Nah, I don't know if I like that either. His specials were pretty good. A bit adult language, but always for effect. Oh yeah, of course. Especially from everything I've like seen. Maybe more shading that way. Ball is in. Parking lot. Would you like to play again? You have selected no. You know what? I think there does need to be a little bit more. Actually, that's cute. I like that. Ball is in. Parking lot. Or maybe we do this. Oh, that's cute too. Okay, let's save that. Oh yeah, we were working on the dress. Let's work on the dress. Maybe you need some shading. A little darker. A little more saturated. Where do we put this? Maybe right here? Yeah, actually that works. That works, that works. Oh, I thought this was Girls on Film. Have you guys ever heard? This is gonna be a very like niche piece of information. Let me go to that Duran Duran album. Actually, I don't know how niche it is really, but where is it? Where is it? Girls on Film. I'm gonna play a Duran Duran song for you guys. This was the opening to an anime that a friend of mine tried to like put me on. Not put me on, but like he tried to like get me interested in it. And I think it actually has like a pretty interesting concept. But I don't really know how to talk about it. No, you know what? I know how to talk about it. I'm just gonna yap about it right now. It was an anime called Speed Grapher, and it aired in like I want to say the early 2000s, and he like let me borrow a DVD of it, and it has an interesting concept because the protagonist is a war photographer. Like he camera gun the show, yes. Yeah, so if I'm understanding correctly, the like one sentence summary is that like there's people with superpowers, but the superpowers are based off of their fetishes and their kinks. And the thing is, I don't think it was a hentai though. Like it wasn't a hentai. I think that was just like just the shtick, you know? Like if what is it? Quasar of the Stigmata was like very sussy wussy. Because like it had a cool concept too, where it's like, oh, there's people with powers based off the elements but not fire, earth, water, air. It's based off like the periodic table of elements. So you had someone with like copper powers and iron powers and oxygen powers. And that's a really neat concept. However, like, the people with these superpowers, their main source of energy, their like mana, was from the secretions of boobies. We'll say that. Breast milk. It was breast milk. And like, actually, technically, it wasn't even breast milk. It was like the mana that can only come from that part of the anatomy. So like, it was like, oh, that's such a cool concept, but why did it have to be powered with that? Like, so there's that, and it's like, oh, it's like a seemingly like innocent concept, but then it gets kind of sussy-wussy because of like how it's powered. And then the direct opposite of that is speed grapher, where like the powers are based off of their fetishes, but I don't, from what I remember, like it wasn't super like it was risque, definitely, because of like the concept behind it, but it wasn't as sexual as like Quasar the Stigmata was. But the thing is, I also like hadn't watched this since I was like, I don't know, my like late teens, early 20s. And also thinking back on it, why did my friend give me that DVD anyway? Like, you know what? I think I was in my early 20s. Because I was like, if I was in my late teens, what the heck was that guy doing? Because he was my age. This wasn't like a grooming thing. Like, he was my age. But like, now that I think about it, it's like, actually, why did he give that to me? Like, there were explicit scenes and the powers are given by the abused young girl. Ah, so you definitely remember more than I remember. I think what's more is that it felt a little bit more seinen. Like, it felt a little bit more... Yeah, the animation was top-notch. I just remember there was a character without a nose. And, like, the opening was pretty banger because it was the song. It was Girls on Film, and then the actual, like, animation was really good. It felt like because the concept was a little bit more sexualized, they treated it a little bit more seriously compared to Quasar the Stigmata, where it was like, oh, we gotta use our powers on dress, you know? Like, that, I think that's why there's like this big difference in how I think about both series. Yeah, from what I remember the anime, I think I would be down to give it another chance. I think the only thing with it is the person who recommended it to me. I've talked about this person before. It was a guy who had like a fat crush on me in like middle school, but like didn't take the hint. But then again, I also had trouble just like expressing that like I wasn't interested. But it was also that like, you know, when you grow up as kind of like a people pleaser, like you're not very quick to just be like, hey, I'm not liking this, can you leave me alone? Instead it was like, oh, I guess I'll tolerate this person until they figure it out. So there was that, but I think I didn't want to watch it because of that association with him. But now it's the same reason why like I don't really have any intention of watching Macross, even though like I hear that that's a wonderful series, you know? Like I've heard people say that like, oh, you gotta watch Macross. If you like mecha, you'll like Macross. But because I associate it with that one guy, I'm like, I don't know. But who knows, maybe I will give it a chance. Maybe if I make this purple. Actually, I like that a lot better. But maybe we do change the dress to be a little bit closer to blue. Like the wolf. I think I have a few episodes on the DVD along with Trinity Blood. Oh my gosh. I never finished that one either, but I know that was on Adult Swim for a minute, right? That was the one where it's like a futuristic world with vampires, but then there's vampires that eat the vampires, right? But I guess spoiler alert. That's like, I think the main character was of that of that species, right? It might have been one of those suggestions where it's like, okay, they like this series so well, give this a shot, trust them even if it might be questionable. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna Google it just so that I remember. It's called Speedgraph. Oh, that's right. So like the main guy was like a war photographer, and then there was like a younger woman, right? I'm reading the Wikipedia article now. It's like it's not necessarily just fetishes. It's secret desires, fetishes, and obsessions. Okay. And I'm hungry like a wolf. Some of the church's battle armor designs were kind of dope. Yeah, actually, because that artist... hold on. Trinity Blood. That artist was banger. Let's see. What was her name? I'm thinking for the manga. Where is the manga? Kyokujo. But I guess that's not the original designer, right? But I remember like really liking the manga, even though I never finished it. But the artist Kyokujo, she had this very like distinct style. Or I'm just assuming that it's a her, but like the way that she drew like eyelashes and stuff and details was just like so good. I actually had no idea that it was it a light novel first? Oh, it was. Okay, okay. I thought it was a manga at first. Said 900 years after an apocalyptic war between humans and vampires, the series focuses on the ongoing Cold War between the Vatican, the human government, and the new human empire. The Methuselah, that's what it was called. These were like the vampires that hunt the vampires, right? It even says it right here. A Krusnik. Oh, wait, no. The vampires were the Methuselah. The Krusnik were the people that hunt the Methuselah. Adventures of a vampire who feeds on other vampires that took a vow of poverty. I'm just seeing the cover arts and it's reminding me of D. Gray Man. I would not be surprised if that was like an inspiration. Because I think this, no, actually, why did I think that this was... Wait, I kind of remember D. Gray Man premiering like when I was like maybe in middle school. Okay, let me just go to like a random article. Which that's another one that I want to get back into. I remember reading that as a kid. Oh, they came about around the same time. So 2004, 2009, and then this one was... Oh, no. This was first. The light novel for Trinity Blood was first. 2001 to 2004, and then the manga was 2003 to 2018. So it might still be like possible that that was an inspiration, but it feels a little bit too close. But still might have been. I wanna like get back into this as well. I watched it and read it back when it was like first airing. When was the first anime? 2006 to 2008. Oh my gosh. And then I never watched Halo. But I remember, I think was there like a big hiatus? I think that's when I never followed up. Like the author had to take like a huge hiatus, if I remember correctly. But it's kind of similar. Like, if you were into Trinity Blood, chances are you were probably also into D. Gray Man, like, when these both came out around that time. Especially because, like, 2004 to 2009, that's around the time that I was in high school, but, like, I can imagine, like moody middle schoolers, but also, like, moody teenage high schoolers also being like, yeah, I vibe with this dark fantasy, post-apocalyptic kind of stuff, very goth, very emo, you know? I think this and, like, I remember, like, Hellsing was also big, like, when I was in middle school. That one was another friend gave me a DVD of, like, the original Hellsing, series, like, not the, oh my god, what was... It wasn't Brotherhood, I'll tell you that much. What was the name of the original? There was, Hellsing... Ultimate? Is it Hellsing Ultimate is like the follow-up? Yeah, Hellsing Ultimate. But there was an original one. There was an anime series before that. That was like 2001, 2002. And I remember like my friend let me borrow... It was another friend. It was another friend. Back then we were just handing each other these DVDs. And you know what's funny is I had a Yu-Gi-Oh DVD. It was specifically the DVD with Bakura because he was my favorite character. And I remember like whenever I played this DVD, it always had this weird effect where like it was constantly like lightening and darkening, and that wasn't part of the original show. So I thought like, oh, what's going on? Like, is my disc damaged or anything? And I remember I showed it to my dad, and my dad was like, oh, they do that to avoid like, you know, people bootlegging it and copywriting it. And I'm like, okay, how come I don't see that for any other DVD? I've never seen that effect for any other DVD, so I just kind of like accepted what my dad said of like, oh, okay, I guess that's just something that the Yu-Gi-Oh DVDs do. And then, so like, I want to say like a couple years afterwards, I took a good look at the actual like DVD disc, and it was in fact damaged. Like there was like the tiniest of cracks, like right like in the center of like the DVD disc, and I was like, you know what, it was broken this whole time. I don't know why my dad told me that. I don't know if he was trolling. I don't know if he was, you know, if he wasn't sure, but he just kind of made something up. Because he was like, oh yeah, it's normal for the DVD to just like be constantly brightening and lowering and darkening. That's just a thing. There was Hellsing, then Ultimate was the let's actually adapt the manga instead of doing an original story. Yeah, very close to like FMA Brotherhood, right? Where I still love both iterations, but Brotherhood just kind of knocks it out of the park. And it's funny because me and Beans had watched both FMAs. We watched Brotherhood first, really loved it, and then I kept on saying that like, oh, I love it, but like I'm so nostalgic for the original series. So we ended up watching the original series, and it's still like a solid story. Like they did really well for what they had at the time in terms of like the manga story, and then kind of like taking it into its own original story. So I feel like they did like a pretty decent job with that, but it's just so hard to compare because Brotherhood like legit knocks it out of the park. It's like comparing like a solid 9 anime to like a solid 10 anime, you know? Like classic is good, but Hellsing, it's because I'm reading the Wikipedia article. But Brotherhood was just like chef's kiss. Perfect in so many ways, you know? I just remembered I suggested my friend Bloodlad anime, and he told me he was mad at me, not for wasting his time, but for never getting another season, and he gets worried at times now and suggests that he might get mad again if they ever ended this series. Oh, so he likes it that much. So he liked it a lot is what I'm hearing. Dang. But at least now he knows something that gives him a lot of joy. The original Hellsing anime didn't even try to adapt the manga story. It made huge changes and went into an original story almost immediately. Yeah, because I remember the DVD that my friend let me borrow. It had this whole not side plot, but there was one episode where it was like the Babanshi, right? It's spelled like Baoban Sith, but I think it's pronounced Babanshi. And it was like this like demon slash fae thing that pretended to be the sister of Integra, I want to say. And I just remember being like, this isn't in the this isn't in the manga. Oh yeah, I should finish the let me finish the pixel art for River, and then we'll go ahead and move on. But yeah, from what I remember, it did veer off like quite immediately. I don't even remember if I finished the original Hellsing now that I think about it. Let me see my reference picture. Oh yeah. I think this one we can include a little bit of a darker tone. Just right here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. And then maybe something a little bit lighter. Maybe we could put it like here. Yeah, that fits too. Alright, we have the bow, we have the sleeves. Maybe we could, can we do something like this? Nah, I think that takes away some visibility. Oh, and then let's put some blush. Let's put some cute little like blush on here. Oh, cute. Cute, cute. Oh, you know what? This should be a little bit more purple now that I look at it. And this one may be a little bit lighter. Maybe we can even do that. Oh, there you go. Let's see, anything else that we can do here? Maybe this can be a little bit lighter. Actually, we'll do like an outline. Actually, this one can be a little bit darker too. And I'll catch up on chat. Oh, actually, that looks a lot better if I just do it like that. Okay, cool. All right, I dare say that's pretty much it for... Yeah, I think that'll be it for Rivers. Came out pretty cute. I like it. I like it. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. The worst part was the police girl was supposed to be comic relief and they turned her into a super serious, tragic backstory character. Yeah, you know what? I'm trying to remember certain things about the differences between Ultimate and like the first Hellsing anime. And for one, I just remember the like difference in the color palette, right? Because she had like orange hair and like a blue uniform in the original, and or the first one rather, and then like in the actual material she had like blonde hair and more of like a chartreuse uniform. I don't remember too much, admittedly, of like the backstory of what is it, Victoria? Sarah's Victoria, right? I'm still hoping they remake Tokyo Ghoul anime from Route A and Re, since I never read the manga before the anime, and after the manga I rewatched the series and got so mad at how wrong everything was and the cuts that they did. Oh my gosh, can I tell you guys something? So I never finished the Tokyo Ghoul anime because I remember I had a friend that told me like, oh, I'm down to watch. I think back then like the anime was airing, like the final like season of Tokyo Ghoul anime was airing, and I was telling a friend of mine that like, oh, let's hang out sometime, and I'm down to like watch that last season together. But I was behind, so I had to like marathon everything up until that point. So I ended up doing that. I marathoned everything up until the point of like the final season, and then I never watched it because I wanted to watch it with my friend. And then when the time finally came for us to like watch it, I asked her like, okay, so when's the day that you want to do this? And basically it never happened because we both lived pretty far away from each other, like both within Los Vincos, but I didn't have a car. And I remember she was like, it feels like it'd be too much trouble for me to make it out to you just to watch anime. And because I didn't have a car, there was no way for me to make it out to her to watch this anime with her. And I remember I was a little bit peeved at first because it's like, I marathoned all this because I wanted to watch it with you. But then she was like, I don't know if I want to like come all the way down to where you are. And I'm like, man, this sucks. But also, I think the thing was, this was also at a point in our lives where we were like kind of fresh out of college. So like we were trying to hustle and get like jobs and stuff. So I understood it from that part, but it was also a little bit of like, man. Her backstory is she almost dies and Alucard turns her so she'll live, and she's just part of Hellsing. The manga just uses that as a setup and she's comic relief after that. The first anime changed to focus on her setup being tragic. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember with Ultimate, the focus was on like literally everything else, like all the villains and stuff. I remember Schrodinger, I remember Rip Van Winkle, I kind of forgot the rest of it, but it definitely seemed like the plot was about the overarching organization with like Alucard and Integra more than Ceres, Victoria, right? So you are jogging my memory a little bit in that regard of like, oh yeah, I think it was a bit more focused on Victoria in the original series. So there is that. But yeah, maybe in that regard I should actually watch the last season of Tokyo Ghoul. But then again, I did hear a lot of people say that like if you read the manga and then watch the anime, it's like, oh, they made like a radical change They made like a radical change to like the plot. They went like in their own direction basically. So it's like, oh, that's wild. That's wild. So yeah, maybe I feel like a lot of animes that do that kind of like stray away from like the original plot, they usually end up doing like the brotherhood thing, but usually just for some kind of anniversary, right? Like, did you guys hear that there's gonna be like a 4-episode special for Naruto because it's like, I don't know, 20th or 25th like anniversary since like the original showing of the series, from what I heard. I just know that it's like 4 episodes, and I think it's Studio Pierrot. Basically, I think it's the studio that animated Bleach 100-Year Blood War, which is pretty banger. I will say, the 100-Year Blood War is like pretty banger. Studio Pierogi. Yeah, actually, how do you pronounce the actual studio? It's like Pierrot, right? It's spelled like Pierrot, right? Unless they did change it to Studio Pierogi, in which case, you know, in which case. Let's see. I think we're pretty much done with River's pixel art, so I think we will go ahead and move on to our next one. It came out really cute. Let me move the symmetry tool over here. And then move the reference over to our friend Nap over here. You know what? I think this one might be a better reference. This one, I didn't do the hair ahead of time, so wish me luck in that regard. But I don't know, because it's like so old-timey, I feel like the hair won't be too much trouble. So we'll do that. The only thing is I do know we also have an ad break coming up. So you got it, I think? That's how I pronounce it anyway. Oh, Pierrot. Pierrot. So I think we'll actually get started on this pixel art after the ad break. And then kind of go from there. Let me put the preview here. But until then, we can yap a little bit more about anime. I could tell you, Route A was the biggest flop. Like, it never followed the manga, only cameos, new characters, and it kind of followed back, but speedrun so much of the world building. I will say that does sound pretty bad, but also I'm just reminded of how bad the anime adaptation was for Promised Neverland. Do you guys remember that one? Do you guys remember what happened with Promised Neverland? I never even watched the second season because I heard it was just that bad. In terms of like adapting the manga, like they just sped around the entire series, like I don't like, that's so baffling to me because that series could have easily been like 3 to 4 seasons, maybe more, you know? There were so many arcs that were like ripe for adaptation, and yet they just sped around the whole thing. And like I think they did like one arc and did like a really bad job of it, and then the very last episode was just like a PowerPoint presentation of like the rest of the manga. Which is like crazy to me. Like you had a moneymaker right there. Why did you do that? Why would they do such a thing? I'm sure there's probably like a video that explains why, because I think that's Studio A1, right? That did that. Or Charlotte, where they shoved a whole season of content into the last season. That one I'm not familiar with. The Charlotte? I'm not familiar with the Charlotte anime. Oh, this is from the 2010s, right? This one I have actually like haven't heard of. I think I heard the name, but I know nothing about like the source material. But that sucks too. That sucks too that they just like shoved everything into one season. Oh, into the last episode. Oh my gosh. Season 1's so good. They got it right. Season 2 is like, did they even try? What is this? No, for real. Because I remember like I was invested in like the Promised Neverland like anime. I remember like they did the tension so well, right? Like the music was great. Like the lullaby for one of the characters. I don't want to spoil too much, but like the lullaby for one of the characters was like, that was beautiful. And even like the openings and endings too. What was the opening and ending for? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it during the ad break. Yeah, I kind of want to watch it during the ad break. I remember the ending too was really good, or the ending theme, not the actual ending. Promise Neverland. For real, like I still don't understand like why that studio did that. They had a moneymaker on their hands here. That could have been like a really good like new shonen anime. Because for one, I feel like people could have also just easily cosplayed that. I think the beauty of certain series and world building is like being able to kind of self-insert, or like if you want to do like kind of a low budget cosplay at like your local anime convention, you could do that, right? Like you could be like, "Oh, I'm a ninja from Naruto, but I'm like my own OC." But people would still be able to be like, "Oh yeah, you're dressed as a ninja." Or like, "I'm my own original character from Bleach," where they're wearing like the Shinigami robes and stuff. And like, if they wanted to, like Promise Neverland could have been the same where it's like, "Oh, I'm a kid from that one house, right? And I'm wearing all white clothing." They had a moneymaker and they flubbed it so bad. I'm just so curious on like why. Like there had to have been a reason, or do you think it was like corporate meddling, right? Where it's like, after that first arc, it all goes down from there. Let's not bother, adapting it. Did they run out of money like halfway through? Like what happened? What could have happened? All right, we do have our ad break coming up. I do want to finish this coffee that I got, that Beans' brother got from me earlier. So I'm actually gonna step away a little bit early, but I'll see you guys after the ad break. Um, and then we'll get started with our second pixel art of Not a Professor. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Okay, we're back. I chugged my matcha tea with strawberry in it. Very yummy. But I also watched the opening and ending to the Promised Neverland anime, and I was like, oh man, this brings back so many memories. But what was also really funny is if you go into the comment section of both, all of them are like, man, it's such a shame that this show is only one season. Crazy how they never made another season of this anime. It would have been a banger, right? And yeah, I quite agree. I quite agree. Wait, let me actually fix my webcam a little bit. Because it keeps tracking me as Angie. I'm not Angie. Not now, at least. Okay, let's get back to class. Alright, next up we are making pixel art for Not a Professor. He is not a professor, but you can call him Nap. This is a... you know what? I don't think I gave a shout out to River when I was making pixel art of her. Let me just make sure I know her handle. Is it River AM? No, it's not. Let me look up her name. River A... Oh, it's River _ A _ M. So let's go ahead and give her a shout out. River... Right. Shout out to River AM. She is a fellow bear that is very cute, and she plays a variety of different games. I know that she was playing Tomodachi Life and a little bit of Animal Crossing on the side as well. I've been interested in Tomodachi Life, but not enough to actually purchase it, but maybe someday. It seems like the personalization, it looks really fun. And then the second person that we are going to be making pixel art for is going to be Not a Professor, also known as Nap. They've been in the chat recently, but they're pretty cool because they do research streams where they are researching. They have this like cool photo with like, I think it's like 24 or 25 kids in it, and it's a photo from like the 1890s, I think, or 1880s. So he's basically like looking through like genealogy records and finding out like what happened to all of these kids. So it's a pretty cool, for one, concept, but also like the way that he actually like does the research streams is pretty interesting because he's taking you through this whole journey of like finding out more about these individuals, right? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I definitely recommend both of their channels. Let me go ahead and get started with the pixel art. Alright, so how do we do this? I think I can actually leave the like little widow's peak over here. But then there are like these puffs. I don't know how you would like when you talk about, what is this, like 18th century hairstyles? I don't know what the like parts of the hair are called, but the little puff balls, right? It looks like an old English like judge. Maybe something like that. That looks a little bit too much like a butterfly. I think it was good when it was like this, right? But now it looks like puppy dog ears. So let's see how we can mix this up a little bit. Yeah, what if we do something like this? Let me just fill this in temporarily. Oh, no, didn't mean to do that. Fill this in temporarily, like that. Something is off. It's a little too, like, it needs a little bit more roundness, like down here, right? Okay, it's getting there. I think this other side also needs to be a little more, We'll do this. Something's a little bit off about this one. Oh, you know what? I think it needs to be equaled out like that. And maybe this actually needs to move up a little bit. Actually, I'm kind of liking that. Into the fire. Actually, since we're doing like, he has more realistic, I guess, proportions because he's based off a portrait. So, no smiley. Maybe even a frowny. Actually, that would, how do I do this? There you go, it's kind of like a pout. He's pouting. He's pouting. Let's get some color in there. Maybe we'll borrow this color. I don't actually know what the color of Samuel Johnson's eyes are. Is it like a brown? Maybe we can borrow from here as well. Oopsie. Notorious. Let's put some clothing on this guy as well. It's always funny, like, starting off the pixel art, because it's always like, oh, I don't want them to be naked, but that's just how I made the template. Oh, you know what? We might need to start using this, like, full body reference as well. Which this... I don't know what this is, like a woodcut or something? He looks so sad. He looks so upset. So let's see. The shirt kind of goes down here, but then there's also a jacket. It's kind of like a maroon, I want to say, like a very dark maroon color. Like this one. It's closer to like brown, so let me actually do it right in between brown and red. Maybe we'll desaturate, and then let's fill that in. I've been wanting to try my hand at pixel art sometime. Would you consider Aseprite to be worth getting over using CSP? I think practicing it just so that you can see whether or not you like it. If you already have a certain program, like CSP, there's probably tutorials on how to do it. I like Aseprite personally because it's built specifically for pixel art. So it's one of those things where the thing is it's not free. I forget whether it's like $10 or $20 or even more, but Libre Sprite might also be a good option, according to Gojikins. Yeah, like any free program, I definitely recommend just to see if you like it, just to see if like you're into it. Kind of the same with like streaming too, right? It's like you want to like try to exhaust all the free options before you like start dropping money for it. But of course, like in that regard, I'm down to like give any tips or like help you out in terms of like getting more into it. If you want something similar but free to play with. Yeah, exactly. To like just play around with it. I was following a whole bunch of, it's funny because I was thinking about this recently of like what actually got me into pixel art, and I think I mentioned it before that part of it was Animal Crossing during the note-taking emote. Yeah, there you go. I mentioned it that Susan Care's Macintosh icons were actually one of the first things that got me into it, because I was playing Animal Crossing and you can make little custom designs for like your town flag or for clothing and stuff. And I think I wanted to make a shirt that had like icons on it. So I used some of Susan Care's Macintosh icons, and then I moved on to like the old school like Windows 95. Oh, thank you, Saribot. The old school like Windows 95 like computer icons. Like when you use like my computer or the recycle bin, and I made little like little Animal Crossing like custom t-shirts out of those like icons. But I remember following like pixel by pixel how to do it, because when learning anything, it's good to just kind of copy something Like if you're making a video game, copy your favorite video game. If you're trying to get into art, use like something as a reference. So you're just kind of directly copying before you can put your own artistic flair into it, right? So I think that's how I started out. And then I wanted to get more into it. So and this isn't a shill. This isn't me shilling, but I ended up going to Squarespace. Oh no, not Squarespace. Skillshare. Skillshare. I was mixing up my shills. I actually went to Skillshare and I looked up a class on how to do pixel art. And I don't think I actually ever completed that class, but let me see. I think I saved my like original folder from when I was taking those lessons. She went to Audible. No, actually, she went to Wix. No, actually, she went to what is it? Raid Shadow Legends. I learned pixel art through Raid Shadow Legends. This stream is sponsored by Raycon earbuds. Can you imagine if I just like casually went into like sponsor, like when you're watching a video essay and then like they completely veer into like the sponsorship? And I feel like you have like different flavors of like YouTubers that either like lean into it or they just do like, you know, like a straightforward like, oh, this stream is sponsored by blah blah blah, and then sometimes they try really hard to make the transition smooth of like hey chat, you know what else, you know, like makes sense for learning pixel art? Skillshare. Or when I'm learning pixel art, I love listening to my favorite tunes, and I can't do that without my Raycons. Yeah, according to Gojikins, Raycon's everyday earbuds are pretty dope with a promo code. If you buy it without the promo code, they're not as dope. They're not as dope, but you know. But let me see if I can find the folder that because I think I wrote down like, oh, this is like the pixel art tutorial by so-and-so. Pixel art. Simon Sanchez. It was a class ran by someone named Simon Sanchez on Skillshare, and they had tutorials on like how to do like a very simple animation. I did a very small animation where I made like a burger bounce. Let me see if I can like find any other tutorials. Yeah, he was into like how to make simple shapes, things like lines and curves. Oh man, this was way back in like 2020 as well. And what's cool is like he also gave you like real feedback. So like with Skillshare, it's kind of like you are taking a class, but you also are like at your own time, you know, asynchronously, and then you could submit kind of like homework for Simon to like review, and he would actually like go into your pixel art and do like adjustments and explain why he did those adjustments. So I thought it was pretty cool. Got mine with a combo of sale and promo code. They stack. Let's freaking go. Let's go. So yeah, I'm actually looking at some of the stuff that I made back then. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Sometimes I look at my own old work and I'm like, man, how come I can't do that anymore? I think I showed this to you guys before, but it's just something that I'm like so very proud of. This was something I made for that class. I made a whole like side-scrolling like mock-up for an Egyptian style video game. And I remember I even like went into Assassin's Creed Origins in order to get like a reference for how to make this like very specific temple. Right? Look at Anubis. Look at him go. And I even have like the background too. Let's see if I can put that here. Yeah, oh my gosh, what the heck? How did I do this back then? Like, that's crazy. I can't do that now. It's like when you look at Hirohiko Araki, the guy who did JoJo, and if you like, apparently he like looked at one of his old artworks from like when he did part 2, Battle Tendency, and he was like, yeah, I don't know how to do that anymore. Like, I remember you put this on your Ko-fi page. Oh, I should put it on my VGen. I should put on my VGen. Sotenbori, hello. We're doing pixel art, but I was also given like tips on how to learn pixel art because folk expressed interest in it. So there's the Simon Sanchez tutorial on Skillshare, but there's also another person whose videos on pixel art are really good. Pixel art basics. Let me see if I can find them again. Sad Slime is pretty good. Brandon James Greer, that's who I was thinking about. There's a lot. If you just Google, like, or not Google, if you go on YouTube and like look up pixel art tutorials, there's like a wealth of information, but the one that I personally learned a lot from was Brandon James Greer. I'm trying to get their URL right now. I believe it's this. BJG Pixel. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Was about to recommend Brandon. Yeah, his stuff is really cool. His stuff is really cool. I think the one that inspired me, I'm trying to remember, he does this thing where he remakes the same pixel art every year. I think it's the Luke Skywalker one. But he also delves into stuff like low poly animation. There was one here, same sprite remade every year, 2023 edition. There's one where he talks about color and hue shifting that really helped me. Because even if you don't apply it to pixel art, you could apply it to like anything else. To anything else like art related. Yeah, he just has a lot. I can't find the specific one, but he just has a lot of like really cool videos on pixel art. So 100% recommend him. They got you back into pixel art. Oh, that's fantastic. The shading one, it was an earlier one because I feel like I only looked at this like around 2020. So let me take that one out. Okay, let's get back to pixelating Mr. Nap over here. What color are his pants? Yeah, if you guys ever need to... The thing is, like, I still consider myself very much an amateur when it comes to, maybe this should be... Yeah, there we go. I still consider myself very much an amateur. There's a lot that I'm, like, proud of in terms of my pixel art, but there's also a lot that I'm just, like, not super confident in yet. But that's the cool thing with art, is that you just keep on getting better and better. Okay, let's put shoes here. Let's make this maybe a little bit brighter. That's another thing with this is like, I don't know 18th century. This is 18th century, right? So 1700s. I don't know much about 18th century fashion. We're gonna do our best. There's some kind of like, I guess, ascot or whatever you would call that. There's also buttons. Yeah, the buttons are big too. What the heck? Oh, no, turn off the... oh, and there... Well, I was gonna say, like, are there buttons on both sides? Interesting, interesting. Maybe this should be a little bit darker, actually. Maybe a little bit closer to orange. Darker. A little bit more saturated. The thing, though, with pixel art that I will say is that, it looks simple at first glance, and in many ways, like, there are a lot of ways in which it is a little bit more straightforward than traditional or, like, digital, like, illustration and digital painting and stuff like that. But knowing a little bit more about things like traditional art can also help in the long run with pixel art as well. Because there are times where I just like struggle with certain things. Like, for example, anatomy is always just like a big thing that, like, to be fair, like every artist kind of struggles with. But the better you are at doing that in traditional art, the easier it will be to do with pixel art as well. And in fact, pixel art also comes with its own set of like struggles as well. Like something that I'm learning just from like doing this project of like pixelating friends is like, how do you simplify certain designs? But make sure that it's still readable. I was trying to think of like, who here had like a really ornate design? Let's see. Oh yeah, I think I remember when I was making like I think Gadrian's and a little bit of Fugubi's designs where it was like, oh, there's so much detail that I want to include, but you have to like cut down. You have to cut down and see what are the ways to make it very like readable. I think Lambdas was also another one where like there were a lot of details that I had to take out. I actually really like how Kurodaios came out. Especially, like, I struggle with hair a lot. I struggle with hair a lot. So that's why, like, for these pixel art streams, usually I do the hair ahead of time. Because it's like, I don't want to, like, struggle too much on stream. Even though I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind, but it's just like, I feel like I'm wasting everyone's time. Okay. You do see a little bit of the white from the sleeves here. Oh, you know what? That kind of brings everything together. So there's like this is the thing that I don't know about like 1770s fashion is like, are these more likely to be actually this looks darker, right? Because of all the cross hatching. So maybe this needs to be even darker. Let's hue shift it over to purple. Now actually let's save that other color as well. Ah, no. Let's do this. Maybe this needs to... No. We'll save it like that. Alright, I'm gonna do a little bit of research here. What does 1770s fashion look like? Like, are those socks supposed to be white? 1770s fashion for men. Because I'm seeing stuff like this. But maybe it should be specific to, like, British? Because Samuel Johnson, who this, like, avatar is based off, was British. Oh, look, there's some stuff here. It looks like it is meant to be, like, socks, right? Men, let's do British. Just so British. Yeah, maybe it's supposed to be white, right? A lot of these are showing white. I don't even know. Are those even socks? Are those even socks? Okay, let's make it white. Let's play around with that a little bit. And then we'll work on shading the hair. Actually, that kind of fits. I like that. Maybe we do a darker color to show kind of like the cuff right here. And actually the coat does come down a little bit more. Like the coat even goes all the way down like here. Do we show that is the question. Oh, we can actually. We can in fact show that. Maybe we keep it like that for now. And then maybe we just replace this with a darker color. So something even darker than this. Oh yeah, I like that actually. You can barely tell the difference, but it's there. Trust me, it's there. Let's add a little bit of shading here as well. Let's borrow from, I think, this color. All right, now let's work on, no, I feel like this still needs a little bit more shading. So maybe we'll put some shading here. All right, I think that's fine. That's fine. Let's go ahead and start working on the hair. Oh, this is gonna be the hard part. I don't know how these wigs work. That is a wig, right? That hairstyle, that has to be a wig, right? Or did they just style their bodacious, like, white fluffy hair into curls like that on it on the daily? So let's see. It looks like one thing that I might want to fix is the widow's peak might be a little bit wider. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Make this a little bit darker. Actually, I'd like the color grading on this one instead. Maybe there does need to be a smidge of color in there. Let's even make it closer to red. Maybe this needs to also be a little bit darker. And maybe that's the outline of the hair. Ooh, okay, this works. Little bit darker, little teensy bit darker. A little more saturated too. We'll replace all this with the fill tool. Yeah, there we go. That's working. That's working a little bit better for us. Okay, that'll be a little bit darker. There we go. I think another thing I want to work on as like a pixel artist or as an artist in general is just how to shade. How to like properly shade things. It's one of those things that like I kind of get the frustration with a lot of like beginner artists because I remember there are times where like when it comes to drawing the like key to just getting good at drawing is like very like easier said than done, but it's to just draw what you're looking at, not what you think. Like draw the shape that you see and not the shape that you think you see. Like for example, if you think of like an eye, like it's easy to draw like a very generic version of an eye, you know, by maybe let's turn off the you know, the generic version of the eye that kind of just looks like this. You know, but if you look at like a actually we could look at the reference that we have right here. Like if you look at the actual lines that make up that eye, it kind of like starts down here and then goes up ever so slightly and then goes down. Right? And then maybe the pupil looks like it's let me make this color right here. Pupil kind of looks like that. And then there's also the like shape for like the eyelid. There's also a little bit of like wrinkles down here as well. So I'm basically trying to draw like the eye that you see like here on the reference. It's not perfect because I'm using pixel art here. And then there's also a whole bunch of like shadows that like, you know, kind of like obscure the lines that you're looking at. So it can be hard. But like once you get like the hang of it, once you get the eye for it, it does become a little bit easier. But if you're like a beginner artist and you just tell someone and someone just tells you like, "Oh, just draw what you see." It's like, well, duh. Like, but it's just hard to actually execute on it. And I think that's the trouble that I have with shading. Is that like, oh, like shading's easy. You just put the you know, put the light source right here. And then imagine that it's like shining down. And from there, you just shade properly, you know? Like you have more shadows on this side, right? But then whenever I do it, it just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right, you know? Which is why I kind of go for like kind of like generic shading of like one pitfall that you want to avoid is something called pillow shading, where you're just shading like the outline itself. And sometimes that works. Sometimes it does work, but you do want to like kind of like break things down into like the shapes that you see. And that's where, like, you know, you start to lose people of like, I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that. Me specifically, I'm also just like, yeah, I know that it's like you have to look at the light source and then just go off of there, but it's still hard somehow. And I think that's probably why, like, whenever I hear about an art style that, like, an art style where like the shading isn't the most important thing, I'm like, ooh, let me hop on that. Ding, ding, ding. Let's see, is there anything else that we can get from this hairstyle over here? The hair is meant to be a little bit more curly, so we could add a little bit more shading. But also, that's kind of good, as is. Maybe some highlights. We can add some highlights. It doesn't, that's why I'm scared to oh, give me a second. Give me a second. Okie doke. Let's see. Alright, I'm back. And I was reading what Fugumi was saying. It doesn't, that's why I'm scared to shade or color at times, since matching colors doesn't feel good at times. Yeah, that's another thing that, like, color theory can be kind of hard to grasp as well. Once you learn the basics of it, it can be pretty fun. I think a lot of it is also, this is kind of weird to say, but sometimes it does kind of go off of vibes. Like, sometimes color does kind of go off of vibes. Same thing with shading. Color, I'm a little bit more friendly with. I'm a little bit more, I feel like I have a better grasp of like colors, or at least what colors I like and what looks good together. A lot of it just depends on the color wheel, right? Like knowing your complementary colors, knowing like what colors go with what. I think a cool tool that I know I've shown on stream before, but I don't know if I'll share it again just in case. Coolers.co. The only thing is I do think you need an account to access it. Coolers.co. So if you use coolers.co, it's like a color palette generator. I guess you don't need an account to sign up, or you don't need an account to use it. But once you start the generator up, all you got to do is press spacebar, and it generates a whole bunch of different color palettes. And let's say that you like a certain color, like I like this wine plum. I'm gonna lock that, and I like the smoky rose. Let's see if there's anything else that goes with these color palettes, but still keeps those colors. So yeah, that can be very helpful. Sometimes though, like I do get a color palette from this and I don't end up liking it, or I don't end up liking like how it looks, but it's just kind of like trial and error. For me, it's like shade and light logic that I kind of get tripped up by. But yeah, color is also a good example of something that like can be very daunting, right? I like cutting it to 4 and doing Game Boy style art. Yeah, so that's another kind of helpful thing too with like just getting into art, especially pixel art, is like a reduced palette can help you so much. It can like putting some kind of limitation on yourself and forcing myself to use sets I don't like. Yeah, exactly. Like limitation actually helps a lot with art, because like if you limit something to like, oh, I can only use 4 colors, or I can use certain shapes, I can only use this or that, then it helps, your brain has to like now train itself to think around those limitations, which, you know, that's kind of like what encourages change and development. So yeah, exactly what Gojikins had said. Let me check out something. Actually, I'm gonna need to step away just for a little bit, Cubs. I just gotta use the little bear's room. I gotta use the forest real quick. Because I chugged that matcha. Okay, I'm back. I'm back from the forest. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have chugged that. Now I gotta, now I gotta really go. But all right, cool. We are back. Yeah, I think we were talking about like ways to kind of like improve in art. Especially with pixel art, I do like the idea of using like reduced palettes. There's a really good video by that person that I recommended, Brandon James Greer, where he does one what is it, like one bit pixel art, as in it's just black and white, and you have to kind of like take a lot of let me see, 1-bit pixel art here. It's literally just black and white, you know, those are your only two options. But the way that you can make it possible is with different textures. So for example, like here, pattern and texture. Yeah, one bit, baby. Like using things like horizontal lines, dithering. I love dithering, even though I don't use it much in these like pixel arts that I'm doing right now. I do love using dithering in like kind of bigger pixel art projects. So like even just using like horizontal lines, vertical lines, and then like dithering is basically just like alternating in like a regular pattern when to put, like, let's say like white over the black or black over the white. So here you can see that this is just like alternating like black, white, black, white, black, white, and this is kind of the opposite. But you could also do it where it's like every 2 pixels you put like a black pixel, or vice versa. So it just makes like really cool designs, and that helps with like adding a lot of texture to your work. So even though you're just using 2 colors, there's still a lot that you can do. There's still a lot of ways that you can show things like transitions, for example. When we get that Binkacore drawing challenge, I gotta test out pattern dithering. Oh my gosh, that's right. It's been a minute since I've done like a drawing challenge. That is something that I would like to bring back. I think another thing is, like I said, copying art when you're starting out, or when you're struggling to kind of like get out of your what's it called, your comfort zone. Is I think it's not this person, but another person did a video on like pixel art Pokemon style. So Brandon James Greer also did that, but I think this person, Tom o'clock, also did a tutorial on like how to copy like Pokemon style pixel art. Oh, you know what? Brandon James Greer also did one on trainer sprites. This is a cool one because like another limitation that you can do, especially with pixel art, is size. So due to the limitations of how like hardware was back in the day, like you could only do like pixel art that was, you know, like 36 by 36 pixels, or like 72 by 72, stuff like that. So that also helps to basically what I'm doing right now too is like with that limitation of like how big your pixel art can be, you have to be very creative with how you make a design readable, right? And with that said, I think we're pretty much almost done. I think we just need some highlights, and then we can kind of go from there. But yeah, a drawing challenge would be nice. It's been a minute since I've last did one. You know what? Maybe I'll turn off the what's it called? Symmetry tool. And I'll just kind of freeball it from here. Na 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 na. There we go, just to add like the teensiest bit of texture into it. Matthew, hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. We're actually, I think we're almost done with this pixel art for Nap. We did pixel art for River AM earlier as well, so we have a bear friend and a educator friend. And we might actually call it pretty soon. I ate $30 of sushi and had a midday nap. Let's freaking go, Matthew. Let's go. That's awesome. My a coworker of mine actually took me to not necessarily sushi. It was a place with sushi, but she took me to Koreatown, which we colloquially call K-Town here in Los Pincos. She took me to K-Town after work one time, and it was fantastic because like the place we went to was like just a small little market, but it also had like sashimi and sushi, like fresh too. Right next to it was like a cafe, and I don't know, that was like the best sashimi I've had in a while. Same with like the sushi as well. It was just so good, and it also had like Korean and Japanese snacks. So I remember telling Beans like, oh, we should go out on more like little outings to like places like Koreatown. And the only thing though is that like if you guys are ever visiting Los Pincos, Koreatown is a fantastic place to go for food, but there's no parking or you're gonna have to struggle in order to get parking. So if you can take public transpo there instead, that might actually be better. When you went to the home country, did you meet up with Sushi and Milky? I did not. The only person that I was able to meet up with was Mayshark. I wasn't able to visit anyone else because I was there for a relatively short time, and a lot of it was like me either accompanying or just going with my my parents to places that they wanted to go to. And I wanted to also visit some museums, so I only met up with Mayshark. But I know that like Sushi mentioned that like she might be coming over to stateside one of these days. I still don't know if that's the case or if they already made that trip. And then Milky, as far as I know, did not live in the area where I went to. I don't want to inadvertently dox her, but she did already. Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, hopefully she had a good time. But yeah, I know that Milky like doesn't live in the region where I had visited for that trip. So yeah. Glasses at night. I don't know when I'm next gonna be visiting the Philippines. I really want to. I really want to, but like with air travel being the way it is, things are just a little, I don't know, things are a bit scary. My sunglasses at night. Maybe we can add, oh, nope. Maybe we can just add a little bit more to the eyes and then we'll call it from there. I have yet to go back. I would definitely recommend it. I just had a good time. I just had a good time over there. There's like this sense of hospitality that I just really appreciated. The weather is hot. It is very humid. Strangely enough, I wasn't affected by the humidity like at all, but everyone else in my family was. And just bring up a maipai. Bring a fan. Though also they do sell fans. They do sell like the electric fans, the little like travel fans. I'll die. I'm a round lad. Like I said, I'm a little bit on the chubby side as well, but like for some reason the humidity did not affect me. But like my siblings who were like skinnier than me, they definitely felt it. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But bring a fan. Bring a pamaipai or like an umbrella, right, to shield yourself from the sun. Know that the roads seem very chaotic, especially compared to like Bear America, but in some ways it's kind of safer because you have to be a lot more vigilant. What I mean by that is like I remember when I had met up with May Shark, I was telling her that like, oh, I'm kind of scared to like cross the streets because not everyone follows like the lanes, like the different lanes on the road. That is kind of non-existent in the city in Manila. And like not everyone is obeying the like stoplights and stuff. They're just kind of going when they want to go. But the thing is, you have to be very vigilant then. Like you have to be very careful. So like that includes the drivers as well. Like you can't just be like spacing out. You have to be like, eyes on the road, paying attention, or else you're gonna get cut off. Or I have a self-defense umbrella. So yeah, it does like, well, also the part of Manila that I went to, like all felt pretty safe. Yeah. And the thing with Manila is that it is like any other metropolitan city. Like there are parts where it could be a little shady, but also parts where it could be very safe. Cause also like, I don't know, just the atmosphere there. And maybe I'm speaking only because I was a tourist or I am a tourist, but like there was something about it that just felt so homey. That felt like safe. And also if you like to shop, the deals are great. So the red light district, no, not, I just know that the wealth disparity in Manila is pretty bad. It's pretty bad, so. But the area that we were in was pretty safe, was pretty good. The malls are banger there, like whatever you can think of that you would want to buy is, or even just like hanging out. Like in the Philippines, malls are a third place. Like I know that's kind of the case here in Bear America too, but it's different over there. Like, I feel like in the malls in my area, it's mostly like teens and some families, but in the Philippines, like everyone's at the mall, because for one, there's air conditioning there. My folks are by Manila. Yeah, I would recommend it. The museum was also really nice. I went to the National like Art Museum, and I think that whole area has more museums. It has like a natural history museum and an anthropology museum, but I was only able to look at the fine arts one. But even that, like that made my day. That was amazing. That was great. You get to see like monumental art, and like I don't know, it was just so good. Like I look back fondly on my trip to the Philippines a lot. So yeah, definitely full recommend. The only thing is that it was not cheap. I ended up paying for like my whole family's plane tickets and the hotel, and I am still kind of like recovering financially from that to this day. And the trip was like what, 2024, late 2024. And I'm still kind of financially recovering from it. So, but if you're paying for like just yourself or just you and like a family member or you and like a friend or something like that, it shouldn't be that bad. It's mostly because I had to pay for my parents, and my siblings, and that was a pretty penny. That was a lot. I'd be anxious the whole time there. May has told me that they kidnap people that are obviously American to ransom. I think, well, I guess like it depends on like how obviously American you are, but also I feel like that's more so in like more exotic, not exotic, but like places like I know that for example that was a big thing in Mindanao where like the militant like Muslim groups were. It is very possible that there is still like, you know, human trafficking stuff in the city because there's so many tourists there. But I think just being vigilant, you know, it's like the same thing as being here in Bear America, right? A lot of people talk about like safety in like certain parts of the world, but it's like, wouldn't you also be vigilant in like a place in like New York City that you know is a quote unquote like shady neighborhood? Same with like Los Bincos. Like as long as you're kind of like vigilant and you pay attention, you should be fine. You should be fine. But yeah, like I said, I recommend. I liked it. But then again, like I said, this is me talking as like a tourist, someone that doesn't live there, and because May Shark, lives in that area, I think she would probably be the better guide, so to speak. And it's also a good opportunity to just meet up with other people. Like I said, I only met up with May Shark, but there is a lot of Filipino randonites. Like I know Thousand, Sushi, Milky, but once again, Milky is not quite in that area, I think. Trying to think of Archaic Bro is another one. So use protection, wear a bag over your head at all times. I'd say just like follow the same rules that you would follow if you were like in a quote unquote shady city in Bear America, right? You know, like watch what colors you wear. Watch what colors you wear and all of that. And when you're not around. All right, anything else that I want to add to this? Maybe the eyes need to be a little bit smaller. Detroit rules, there we go. At least we're not Detroit. We're not Detroit. Not in my head when you're not around. Nah, actually that's a bit much. You're out of touch. And when you're not around. Alright, I think, is that it that I want to add for this? I think that's all I can add at this point. Unless, wait, what if I bring this down and I make this part white? I like that a lot better, actually. To be honest. There we go. Alright, I think that's it. I think that's it for these two. We made Not a Professor, Nap, and we made River AM. Very nice. Like GTA rules. This music makes me want to play GTA Vice City. Yes. Beans has talked about that before, where like if you want like banger 80s tunes, just play Vice City. Just or listen to the soundtrack, right? What Nap is painting based off of? It's one called Blinking Sam. And it's a painting of a person named Samuel, I believe Johnson. They had like a very, like, very regular name. Samuel Johnson. We could actually do a little bit of research before we call it for today. It's a kind of a short day today, but that's okay because I wanted to kind of take things easy. It's a feller named Samuel Johnson. Often called Dr. Johnson. He's an English writer and polymath who made lasting contributions as a poet, playwright, essayist, moralist, literary critic, sermonist, biographer, editor, and lexicographer, creator of dictionaries. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But I know that he's well known because his two of his paintings make such good like reaction imagery. Like this one over here where he's like reading it. It's like that meme of like, you know, me reading what the F you just wrote. It has to be here. Meme. Oh, it's not. Okay. Oh no, you know what? It's under the entry Blinking Sam. Blinking Sam. It's made by Joshua Reynolds. And then the reason why it looks like that, and we do have an ad break coming up, but that'll probably be our last ad break of the day, is because he's actually like nearsighted or farsighted? Nearsighted. He can't read closely. I think he's farsighted, right? And that's why the painting kind of looks like that. I like this one as well. Here, when you're a writer of the first English dictionary and a great scholar, but somehow became a meme, right? It's just so meme worthy. It's just so meme worthy. You love to see it. So Johnny Sins of Britain. There you go. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Actually, instead of running the ad break, I think we're just going to go ahead and do our mosh pit for the day, and we'll go ahead and call it. So yeah, pretty short, but I kind of wanted to keep things pretty chill today. So let's do some 80s style moshing, 80s metal cover. We'll just go from there. My Chemical Romance Helena 80s remix? I don't know. Right into Randon? Yeah, if he's still going, I'm down. I'm down. Let me go ahead. Does it look like he's gonna stop soon? He's still trucking? He was playing Euro Truck Simulator. I did pop in for like a couple of seconds just to give a funny little quip, you know? So all right, for any new students in the class, all you gotta do, we have our end of stream mosh pit. This is our little tradition. He just started a delivery. Oh, cool, cool, cool. All right. So this is our end of stream mosh pit. All you gotta do is, once you hear the music, go ahead and start spamming your favorite emotes in the chat, and I'm gonna make your little stream avatars fight each other. There's no correlation between who spams the most emotes and who wins the mosh pit. It's RNG, and it's not rigged. So once you hear the music, get to moshing. I think I already stopped raids on my end. There we go. Oh, what is this gonna sound like? Heck yeah. Die to get in again. We are the very... Oh, from you. It's like a match. Oh yeah, let's start the mosh pit. To get in array the lives of everyone you know. Na 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 na. And I've been holding on tonight. What's the worst that I could say? Things are better if I stay. So long and good night. So long and good night. Oh, no. It's not rigged, though. It's not. I swear. I swear. The tears again. Okay, watch. Watch this, Cubs. Dude, also the edit where they look 80s is so good. I feel like their hair needs to be a little bit more poofed up, you know? But otherwise... fantastic. Rigged? It's not. It's not rigged, though. It's not. What's the worst that I could say? Things are better if I stay. So long and good night. So long and good night. Things are better if I stay. So long and good night. So long and good night. Wow, this breakdown. Wow. And look, see, I already lost the mosh pit. It's up to Matthew or Gojikins. And you got the med pack. You got the med pack. Oh, and Gojikins is going for that med pack. It's a tight match. Especially with this breakdown, with this like, ooh, with that saxophone though. Ooh, another med pack. This is a close one. Oh, and another med pack. It's only a matter of time. I'm betting on Matthew. Ah, oh, you missed the med pack! Oh no! No! I believe in you. Ah. It's Matthew. Well, at least you won the bet. I mean, I'm wondering if I can incorporate some kind of betting... some kind of betting system within Stream Avatars. I have been thinking about it. How much time do we have? We have enough time for another round. We have enough time for another round. I think we could do it. When both our cars collide. Gambling and death battles? Yeah, the usual things that you see out of school. Oh, you know. You guys are bullying me. You guys are bullying me. You carry on this way. Things are better if I stay so long. What? Matthew got the double med pack. That's insane. Feels like cheating. I think it is rigged. For Matthew. Salvete. Or is it pronounced Salwete? Salwete Magister. Yes, the gladiator school. Rigged. I feel like there is a way for me to put betting in there. I just gotta figure out how. I just gotta figure out how. Man, this guitar solo though. Wow. Great job, everybody. Great job. Alright, thank you. Wow, there's a lot of 80s remixes here. I'm kind of down to listen to these. But alright, everyone. Next week, we're definitely going to have a Yap session next Monday. I want to see if we can play some Pasoi Dos. I'll teach you guys the rules. We might play some virtual Pasoi Dos during our Yap session on Monday. And then I might want to play Scriptorium. And then I haven't decided what to do on the Friday because I am working at a school site. So I might not be back in time for a stream. And then next Saturday, I am considering Posca marker graffiti lettering. Watch along of Kung Fury when? Ooh, that's right, watch along. Ooh, okay. Watch alongs. That's an idea as well. Alright, I'll think about it. I'll be thinking and thonking. But we are gonna go ahead and raid into Randon. Wait, hold on, let me make sure I have the right window open. Yeah, let's go ahead and raid into Randon. With that, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in as I pixelated some friends and buddies. And I hope you guys have a good morning, afternoon, and evening. And as always, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. But I thought I freaking fixed the raid thing, but it's okay. The raid message. Thank you for the lovely stream. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. All right, we raid.